Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is chapter 4. The rabbit sends in a little bill of Alice's in Wonderland, or Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. I'm sorry. Shall we start? Okay. It was the white rabbit, trotting slowly back again and looking anxiously about as it went, as if it had lost something. Fan and white gloves. Very soon the rabbit noticed Alice as she went hunting about, and called out to her in an angry tone, and asked her to find that fan and white gloves. She came upon a near little house, on the door of which was a bright brass plate with the name W. Rabbit. She went without knocking and hurried upstairs. By this time she found her way into the tidy little room with a table in the window, and on it a fan and 2 or 3 pairs of tiny white kid gloves. She took up the fan and pair of the gloves, and was just going to leave the room. She saw near the looking glass. There was no label this time with the word "Drink me." It did so indeed. Before she had drunk half the bottle, she found her head pressing against the ceiling, and had to stop to save her neck before being broken. He hastily put down the bottle. She went on growing. In another minute there was not even room for this. Luckily for Alice, the little magic bottle had now had its full effect, and she grew no larger. Still it was very uncomfortable, and as there seemed to be no sort of chance of her ever getting out of the room again, no wonder she felt unhappy. Alice felt regret and wished never went down the rabbit hole, but it might make her even curious. She heard a voice outside and stopped to listen. Alice knew it was the rabbit coming to look for her, and she trembled till she shook the house, quite forgetting that she was now about 1,000 times as large as the rabbit, and had no reason to be afraid of. Presently the rabbit came up the door and tried to open it, but as the door opened, well, it's got no business there. At any rate, go and take it away. There was a long silence after this, and Alice could only hear whispers, and at least she spread out her head again and made another snatch in the air. She waited for some time without hearing anything more. Then, saying to herself, "This is Bill," she gave one sharp kick and waited to see what would happen next. The first thing she heard was a general chorus of "There goes Bill," then the rabbit's voice along. Last came a little feeble, squeaking voice. There was a dead silence instantly, and Alice thought to herself, but she had not a long doubt. For the next moment a shower of little pebbles came rattling at the window, and some of them hit her in the face. Alice noticed that some surprise that the pebbles were all turning into little cakes as they lay on the floor, and a bright idea came her head. That cake can reside her body. So she swallowed one of the cakes. As soon as she was small enough to get through the window, she ran off the house and found a quiet crowd of the little animals and birds waiting outside. Alice met Alice made plans inside her head. First, grow to her right size, and second, to find way to that lovely garden. An enormous puppy was looking down at her large round eyes, the family stretching out one paw, trying to touch her. This seems to Alice a good opportunity to making her escape, so she set off at once and ran till she was quite tired out of breath, until the puppy's bark sounded quite faint in the distance. The great question certainly was, what? Alice looked all around her at the flowers and blades of grass, but she did not see anything that looked like the right thing to eat or drink under circumstance. There was a large mushroom growing near her, about the same height as herself, and she had looked under it, and on both sides of it, behind it. It occurred that her might as well look and see what was on top of it. She stretched herself up on tiptoe and peeped over the edge of the mushroom, and her eyes immediately met those a large caterpillar that was sitting on the top of his arms fold, quietly smoking with a long hookah, with taking not the smallest notice of her or anything else. So that is for chapter 4. Come back for chapter 5. Thank you.